I am the Maven of the Eventide, and welcome to my own little pumpkin patch. It is my very favorite time of the year. Pumpkin spice season. And what is better than pumpkin spice? Alcoholic pumpkin spice. Oktoberfest, psh, this is Pumpktoberfest. And this year, I have made it my mission to track down and try all of the pumpkin beers in order to... what are you doing?
Well, you said pumpkin beer.
Yeah, and? But you can't just come barging into my pumpkin patch expecting to share my beer. At least not dressed like that. This is a spooky place. You could have at least worn a corset or something.
Oh, well, you know what? I left my corset in my Ren Fair bag, so I guess I'm just gonna have
No. If you want the beer, you have to dress up. Them's the rules. Here.
But
Put
it's
this
not
on.
even Halloween.
Do it or no beer.
Fine.
Spooky. That's better. Anyway, as I was saying, try all the pumpkin beers to determine the very best one.
Well, that sounds a slightly subjective goal, don't you think?
Yes, I will rank them on a scale of general deliciousness.
But still, there's so many different personal preferences that go into what makes a really great pumpkin beer. Some are on the more squash side that bring out the pumpkininess, some are more spicy, and some just taste like straight up pumpkin pie.
Yes, that's it.
What?
I want a beer that tastes like pie.
Okay, well, personally, I like the pumpkin spice, but I'd like to find a good beer that tastes like an actual pumpkin, not so much on the pie side.
Okay, so we will rate their level of spiciness, and then rank them on a scale of squash to pie, as well as general regular beer tasting notes, I guess, if we must. But where to begin? I've amassed such a glorious collection.
Well, I have an idea. I think we should start with 3 beers that we find in a lot of our local food markets and in local bars.
So, the boring ones.
Well, the more familiar ones. We'll start there, and then we go out drinking. We'll be much more discerning beer drinkers right off the bat. So I'm thinking we start with the Smuttynose, the Pumpkin Ale from Blue Point, and the Shock Top. Ooh, they're already cold.
Yeah, I run a tight patch.
Pumpkin Patch Show.
Shock Top Pumpkin Wheat is a Belgian-style wheat beer brewed with pumpkin and spices, and it's made by Shock Top Brewing Company in St. Louis, Missouri.
Which is actually just Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, this is the same guys that make Budweiser, which is why this is such a common beer.
Why you can find it in your local Walmart.
And on tap in a lot of bars. It says it's Belgian-style wheat ale brewed with ripe pumpkins, citrus peel, nutmeg, cinnamon, and cloves, which are all pretty common pumpkin pie spices, so maybe this will be good for my pie beer. And I do generally like wheat beers, so we'll see how this combination
All right,
is.
well, so here we got our pour going on for glass number 1.
Our delicate tasting glasses.
Ooh. I mean,
So these are small glasses. You're not going to get the same effect with a proper beer glass, but for a tasting, for a flight, as it were, this is good. Not much head on there. I don't know if it would be different.
well, I mean, I poured
bigger
very
glass.
gently, mind you. It's got a lovely color. Very
Nella
lovely.
pours it generously.
Yes, I do.
If this were a flight, it'd
taste.
be like, you know. what is this, 3 ounces? Yeah, it's about 3
Yeah.
ounces. Got a nice orangey amber color there, kind of a medium amber.
It definitely has the pumpkin spice smell going on.
My hopes are high. I mean, my hopes are kind of low because this is a corporate beer. And I usually like the more crafty beers.
Yes, well, cheers.
Cheers to our very first pumpkin beer of the season.
You can taste the Budweiser underneath it.
It's light and crisp.
It's
subtle. It's very subtle.
It's really not as weedy as I would think a wheat beer would be.
Yeah,
when I
usually-
think wheat beer, I tend to think like a Blue Moon. I think like a Hefeweizen.
something cloudier.
Yeah, this is very clear. It's very
Watered down.
not cloudy at all, and it's watered down is flavor wise. I mean, on the mouth it feels like a beer. It doesn't taste skunky or anything like that. It's pleasant. It's just
it's nice. It's not bad. It's just there's not much to it. I don't really taste the pumpkin. I don't
Yeah.
really taste the spices.
I mean, it's actually quite unoffensive. It's not terrible. It's a very light, crisp beer. It's just
Very
not
light.
the pumpkin beer I wanted. It's not the pumpkin taste.
So on the scale of squash to pie, I wouldn't even know where to put it. It doesn't really follow. On the spice scale, it's definitely on the lower end. If we're ranking spice from 0 to 5, maybe a 1.
Yeah.
A 1. And this is a 5.1% ABV beer, so it's very light in the alcohol. Not very light, but on the lighter side, especially compared to some of the other beers that we're going to be trying.
Yes. On a scale of squash to pie, this is on the squash side, but without really having squash. If you poured this out for me and handed it to me without telling me what it was, I would not think, oh, that must be a pumpkin beer.
Yeah, agreed. Though it's better than regular Shock Top.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like regular Shock Top, you might like this.
Don't get it if you're looking for a pumpkin thing, though.
What's next?
Pumpkin Patch Show.
Smuttynose Pumpkin Ale. Smuttynose is from New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, it's well, they are located in Portsmouth. I don't know, a family
Portsmouth.
that lives there. New Hampshire. They are on the bigger scale of small breweries. I think in 2007 they were moving about 20,000 barrels in a year, which is pretty respectable. We find them a lot here in the mid-Atlantic states, but when I looked at their actual distribution, probably anyone actually on the West Coast or mid-America would go, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, we see this a lot around here in New York City, but you may not see it where you come from, so if you do, keep your eye open for it.
Yeah, they do some pretty good stuff, but we'll see how their pumpkin ale tastes.
This is another ale. In fact, most pumpkin beers are ales. There are a few that aren't, but this is another ale. It's brewed with pumpkin puree and spices, as opposed to the fresh pumpkins that the Shock Top claimed it was brewed with. This is, it doesn't say it's ABV on the bottle. I think it's 5.9% if I recall correctly. So the label says, come visit our brewery and restaurant in Toll Farm in Hampton, New Hampshire. And check us out online at smuttynose.com. And about the beer, all it says is pumpkin puree and spices. Doesn't say what
So-
kind of spices, so we'll find out.
It's lighter than the Shock Top, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got more of a yellow, kind of a traffic light yellow
Yeah.
color to it.
It's got almost a perfumey pumpkin smell to it. Like, this
Yeah.
smells like more like perfume than, like a pumpkin perfume.
So cheers.
Yes.
I can definitely taste the spice. It's a lot. I mean, comparing it to Shock Top, it's not that spicy actually. I'd say on the scale of spiciness level, maybe about a 2 or 3. A nice
Yeah.
balanced spice.
Yeah, this is on the squash light and spice. To me, it's that almost, like I said, perfuminess. It's like there's like a kick that happens on your tongue with it.
I don't want to say floral. I guess it's fruity, but
No, floral. To me, floral is it. It's got a very floral taste to it. To me, it feels more on the squash side than the spice side.
yeah, it's not fulfilling my pie fantasies. And
It's really refreshing, though. The floral is really the big thing that's hitting me.
it's definitely a more interesting beer than Shock Top, but I almost want to say I don't like it as much. It's almost a little bit like drinking perfume, but not bad. I don't dislike it.
Again, not really so much on the really feeling like I'm drinking something pumpkin-like.
Yeah. So we're doing the boring beers today.
This wasn't boring. This was actually quite delightful. If you're looking for something that's on the really crisp when cold side, has got a really strong floralness to it, that has a really nice aftertaste in your mouth, but is definitely like not on the pie side, you might want to check out Smuttynose.
I couldn't even rank it on the scale of squash to pie. It's something else entirely. Not bad though. But since I have so many beers to choose from, it's not going to be my first choice. Next,
Pumpkin Patch Show.
Blue Point Pumpkin Ale. Made
Long
by-
Island beer, yay!
And this is a malt beverage brewed with pumpkin and spices. And according to the website, it uses only the most sincere of pumpkins. So, you know.
Were there cheating pumpkins or lying pumpkins?
And an innocent hint of cinnamon and nutmeg, which are only 2 of the pumpkin pie spices. You know, there's a lot more that goes into pie than that.
It's missing the clove and at least the ginger.
So it might be light on the spicy side, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be crisp and orange.
Another interesting fact about Blue Point Brewery, which is located in Patchogue, is that they just sold in February to Anheuser-Busch InBev. So this could mean either that they're getting support for greater distribution, or this could mean that one of my favorite breweries is now, part of the enemy. I don't know. We shall see. So we'll give this one a pour. That one's definitely a much more golden color, like the Shock Top. I love how, Maven, you made it so easy to tell which one's your glass. Thank you.
I marked my territory. Nice. So this is 6.0 ABV, the strongest beer of the night, but still, 6 is kind of up there for me.
No, that's
a solid beer.
Yeah.
6.0, so.
So, cheers.
Subtle smell. I don't really smell pumpkin or spices.
Yeah. Well, no, I smell the pumpkin.
Sweet.
I
guess
smell the
that's
sweetness.
The fruity sweetness. Considering that it only has 2 of the pumpkin pie spices, it's probably the nicely spicedest one
we've had so far.
Yeah.
What I find funny is that you can taste the toasted lager underneath it, which is the main beer of Blue Point Brewery.
So it's like they just slurry their beers together.
It's definitely, I don't know if that's the same process that they do with the toasted lager, but it tastes very much on the basic level. I can just feel it underneath it.
But it makes for a totally different flavor. Some more full-bodied beer than the other 2 that we've tried.
Definitely.
On the scale of squash to pie, I'd put this, if squash is 0 and pie is 5, because pie is infinitely better than squash. Mm-hmm. Maybe this would be about a 3.
I'm giving this a 2, actually.
2?
Yeah.
Squash 2?
Yes.
Compared to the other 2, this tastes more pie-like to me than they did.
To me, it loses any spice or pumpkin finish pretty quickly in the mouth.
I agree. There's not much left over there.
Yeah. It just sort of settles back into the toasted lager sensation. I bet this is one of those ones that would really do well with a brown sugar rim.
You rim your pumpkin beer, your pumpkin spice beer, or your pumpkin spiceless beer, whatever you're trying, with a brown sugar spiced rim. Mm-hmm. You'll just twist your glass in a little mixture of pumpkin pie spices. It's good.
Yeah, and actually we picked up a packet of it at St. James Brewery where we bought a ton of these beers. So maybe in a next episode we'll have it at the ready for the next pour to see how it compares.
If the beer is worthy. Mm. So of the 3 that we tried today, I would have to say the Blue Point's my favorite so far. It's the most interesting. It has the most flavor to it. Like the others tasted kind of weak and watery. Next to this.
Honestly, I'm glad you said that because I would feel really bad as it is a local Long Island brewery. But I think I have to go with the Smuttynose on it because of the floral accents.
You and your flowers.
I like
grind
flowers.
Flowers into grain alcohol, let it steep for a week, and give it to you, and you'll think it's the best thing ever. People don't come to the pumpkin patch for flower beer, is what I'm saying. But they do come for the spooky atmosphere. So if you want to come back and try more beers with me, you have to dress up. That's my rule.
Fine.
Just dress up, wear something sexy, wear something scary. I don't care, as long as it fits the atmosphere.
Well, on that note, till next time.
Pumpkins, 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 pumpkins.
Gee, Lisa, for someone who didn't like it all that much.